sitting here with Steve Randa. We're going to be talking about his experiences with aging. How are you today?
Oh, fantastic.
I'm doing well. Okay, so I'll go ahead and start off with something about your health. How do you think you've adjusted to limitations while also remaining healthy?
Well, about 10 years ago, maybe 11 or 12, I had my first physical and was diagnosed with as pre-diabetic.
Okay.
So went to some classes, had to adjust my diet and so forth. Since then, I've lost about 35 pounds.
Oh, wow.
And by adjusting diet, and am no longer pre-diabetic, and exercise and walk, and my job requires a lot of walking also, so
Okay.
I stay active that way, and that's how I've kind of helped adapt and adjust with my health.
Okay, so you would say as you've gotten older, you have to pay more attention to your diet and your activity as well.
Most definitely.
Gotcha.
Most definitely. I eat a lot less than what I ever used to, and healthier foods.
Gotcha. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so more so on the social side. How do you think you have adjusted in your role in the community? Have you been more active in the community, or?
Very much so, especially since my job brought me out here to Crystal River. I've become a lot more active in the community, involved with the Chamber of Commerce, with the City Hall, and the 4-H out here, and FFAs, and I'm actually involved in the 4-H Foundation and other groups and members of groups, and it's actually been something I've been wanting to do for quite some time, but being in the right location has a lot to do with that also.
Gotcha. So being in, would you say a smaller community has helped you kind of come out in the community a little more?
Most definitely. Okay. Most definitely. We lived in Orlando, and we moved out here. My job brought me out here, and I've become a big part of this community and really enjoy it, and it's helped me become more active and so forth.
Okay, awesome. You spoke about your job. How have you found satisfaction in your career?
Well, I've been a retail manager for many years. As most retail managers do, they go from one company to the next after 7 or 8 years. It's just a natural progression in my field, and I came across a company that is a young and growing company, lots of opportunities, and I actually am becoming a part of helping this company grow and become a much larger corporation.
Okay, so you'd say you played a larger role in your career as far as in retail as you've gotten older. You just played a larger role
Very
in
much
whatever
so.
you do.
The more experience I have gained in the past has created the ability to become a much better manager, how to handle people and how to deal with people and get the most out of people.
Okay, gotcha. I wanted to dig into more so of your family life. You have a son that is 21 years old, right? So how would you say how have you played a role in launching your child into a responsible and happy adulthood?
Well, when he was 15 and old enough to become employed, I happened to work for a private owner of Ace Hardware in Orlando. I was able to get him a job at 15 and a half, and provide him the direction to have a good work ethic, and to allow him to know how to survive in the workplace, because it's not easy.
Right.
So he's been able to gain that experience before he even got out of high school, and therefore, as he's gone on to college, he has continued to work and hold down a full-time job as well as go to college, and now has, with his fiance, has their own place, their own house, and at 21, and still going to college, still working full-time, and I'm very proud of him.
Okay. Let's see, as far as your parents, how have you reoriented yourself to them aging?
Well, that's a little bit of a different situation. I was born and raised in Ohio, and I did not like the cold weather. And when we were young, my parents brought us down here to visit family in Florida. When I was old enough and got finished with college myself, and the job market was not real good in Ohio, I decided to make a move to Florida back in 1981 and never looked back. I love Florida. My brother and my sister still live up in Ohio with my parents, and it's unfortunate sometimes I don't see them very often, but my life took me to Florida, and I'm very happy and proud of that.
Gotcha, so you kind of just made more of you built your family in Florida, and
Very much so.
gotcha. Okay, so let's see. As far as the community, I know that you talked about being very active in the community. As far as what's your perspective on the differences that you've seen in the community as time has progressed, on a national level, even maybe on a local level?
Well, let me do a little bit of comparison. We live in Ocoee, which is a suburb of Orlando, and we're part of the hustle and bustle of the city life. And as I said before, my job brought me out here to Crystal River. It's a much more laid back community, a much more look out for each other type community.
Right.
It's not about me, it's about us and everybody out here. It's a little more farm related, countrified, if you might want to say. And that's more as to my upbringing and the way I was raised.
Right.
And it's just a slower paced lifestyle, I guess you might say. But you still have all the amenities of a big city that are not far away.
Gotcha. Okay. Do you prefer the city life? Did you prefer that when you were younger, and then kind of as you got older, maybe?
Yeah, I think that has a lot to do with it, to be honest. Everybody, you hear people say that they tend to go back to their childhood as they get older.
Yeah.
And of course, being born and raised on the farm, and then living in the city for quite a number of years, having the opportunity to come back to the country way of life, to me has been a very good move.
Okay. So you kind of took advantage of the freedom that you've had, and then kind of went back to what you were more comfortable with as you got older, just kind of.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's see. Going back to your family, what was it like when your child was young, and how has life changed as he has gotten older? Has that had any type of impact on your lifestyle?
Definitely. I mean, when you have children, you're tied to your house, and you're tied to your family, and tied to your home. Now that he's off on his own, my wife and I have the ability to go out and have a more social life than what we've had in the past. When we lived over in Ocoee, we didn't really do a whole lot of anything other than go and visit relatives, that I had. And now that we're out here and Josh is doing well on his own, we have the capabilities of, like last Sunday we went to the Tampa Bay Rays game. This coming Saturday night we're going out and karaoke. We have the opportunity to do a lot more things and have friends socially and so forth that we didn't used to have, because all of our focus was raising him and giving him the proper life to succeed.
Okay. What would you say would be the point of your life where you believe you were the happiest? Whether it was your childhood, your adulthood, or your later adulthood?
Oh, wow, that's tough.
It's pretty heavy.
That's really a hard question to answer. At different periods in one's life, different things mean more to a person. When I was growing up and through high school and so forth, and through college, my animals meant a lot to me, and of course my family. As I matured and went through college and then met my lovely wife, the most important thing was her and I and our son we had. Now, since he's gone and raised, the most important thing is just her and I having a good time together.
Okay.
So, depending on where you are in your life cycle, as to what's important to you, because that changes as years change.
Okay, so it really just depends on what stage of life, and you kind of found the best in each of those stages of life.
I tried to.
Yeah, that's all you can do, right? Okay, well, that seems to complete my interview. Thank you for your time.
Certainly.
Definitely appreciate
It's
it.
been a pleasure.
Thank you.